Okay,
There you go.
Rick, are you here?
I think so.
Tim,
Last time I checked.
Doug? Yes. Matt's here. Becky is gone with her. Gives an excused absence for the evening. She did call. So,
Oh, yeah, I guess I'm taking minutes, aren't I?
with that, we'll, open with a word of prayer. Jesus, please be with us this evening as we come together to discuss, like we just talked, leaving the land better than what we found it. Help us leave here tonight by having this meeting, each of us be better for having been here. Let us be kind to others and get home safely. We ask this in your name. Amen. With that, is there any, we need a motion to approve to approve the minutes. We don't have any changes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, Rivka, was that the agenda or the minutes?
The minutes.
Okay.
Sorry if I did.
No,
Out of order.
I'm looking at this and I didn't say if, I don't know. If I
No,
couldn't
that's how
read.
you worded it.
Okay. And an approval of the agenda, don't we have to approve last? We just approved
You approved
Last
minutes.
last month. All right, that's where I was looking for that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So the agenda in front of us, any changes to that? Or
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
any?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Doug, did you approve or did you second
second.
the first one?
Second.
Yeah, got it.
Public comment. Anybody else?
Nobody's
Public?
There are no public.
This is the least amount of people that have been at a meeting in years.
You.
It's true. That's true.
Is.
Mm,
What's the problem? No, I thought the same thing when I walked through the room, so. Seeing as though there's no public comment, question, is there any questions on the reports that were in our packet?
One thing I will note, your packet does not have Muriel's board report because she was sick for a chunk of last week when everybody was getting them in. So if you do want that, I can send that over to you individually, so.
It'll be all right.
Executive Director report.
Yeah, I mean, I've got about a bunch of bullet points in my report. Some of the things I did, been keeping pretty busy with, all the native plant and the tree sale prep stuff coming up. Both those sales are live and we are getting plenty of orders in, by the way. Setting up for the annual meeting. So obviously last meeting, we got that location set. Sarah and I have been, and our annual meeting committee have been kind of discussing the theme and, what sort of the format of how the staff are going to get their updates and then kind of a highlight that we're going to do. We picked a caterer. We're going to go with Righteous Cuisine again, which we did a couple years ago. They've got meat. They've got sweet potato, some good options. So,
I had them for dinner. We had them.
yeah, we had that for dinner.
Very good.
That's so good.
And this is a full 3/4, I mean, a meal, not like a,
Yep,
Some
this,
are-
it'll be like
Taco
yeah,
bar,
we're gonna
but
do
with
like a
sides
taco
and stuff.
bar with
Yep.
sides and chips.
Not
all
hors d'oeuvres,
good.
but
So, yep.
Right, it's a full meal.
Yep.
With I think we
Good.
can get up to 3 sides as well, and we on us, everyone can get 3 tacos.
Yeah.
Let's do tacos.
And we'll do what we did last year where we do like a suggested donation of $10.
Not suggested donation, it's $10 per person.
Is that what we did last year too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not everyone paid
Fair
it because it was like certain people we didn't have
Yeah.
pay, but
We got together as staff and drafted the CNA, the Conservation Needs Assessment, which that draft is in your packets. We'll just kind of go over that a little bit later in the meeting, just chat about it. If, I want you guys to take a look at that survey. This is one that we're going to be putting out to the people of Ottawa County to give us some guidance moving forward on, some of the conservation needs that the people of Ottawa County have and some of the things we're going to be.
didn't we
looking
do one of them 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think we do.
It's every 3.
Yeah, the
Is that-
CNA is every
Every
5,
five.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
every
that's
5.
coming up this year, and then later this year, we'll start taking a look at the strategic plan as well. But that's not up, I think, until 2027. But yep, so we have a draft of that, and, feel free to take a look at that and, give us any feedback you have. A lot of, various reporting from several different programs this quarter. A lot of meeting with the staff, just figuring out what they need in terms of support, and a lot of grant writing. So we've had sort of mini committees between Sarah, myself, Megan and Tracy, and we've put together, a couple of kind of draft grant applications for programs that we will be applying for. We applied for, or we wrote an LOI to a grant, a letter of intent to a grant, earlier this month through GLRI. But a lot of just getting together with that sort of mini committee and trying to figure out more sustainable funding specifically for Tracy and Megan for the future. A lot of, working with Sierra and general financial oversight. Actually just earlier today got our credit card reconciliations done. Did all of our end of year financials, so processed all of our W-9s and mailed out 1099s. So some of you folks probably got that already, or it'll be coming in the mail pretty soon. We did end up getting, I was going back and forth with ZZZ Business Services, which I talked about last meeting about working on cleaning up some of those uncleared transactions and some of the QuickBooks issues and the unused classes. And we did get a quote back from them, and it's, so we, in the appropriations budget that you set up, we put aside about $20,000 to help kind of clean up some of those issues on QuickBooks. And when they came back with their quote, what we did is we gave them access to QuickBooks, and then we also gave them access to our last audit report too, so they could kind of see some of the issues we were talking about. And I chatted with them a few times about some of those issues, the unused classes and those transactions. And they came back with a quote of, they estimated it would only take them about 5 to 15 hours of work at about $100 an hour. So well under the $20,000 that we budgeted, which will be very nice. I am reaching out to a couple of other options too, just to see. And obviously that could be, once we dive into the issue, once Annalise gets back, we could find more issues, and it could take, more time, obviously. But I was pretty happy with that estimate. So we're pretty excited to get that done.
And they put a guarantee on that when they're done.
So like,
And this
not
would,
to exceed.
this would
Get a
this
good job.
would
Then
get
they're gonna go,
everything
"Oh,
fixed
by
and
the
tidy.
way,
Look what we
That
found."
is the hope.
We-
So in all of my communication with them, I was very clear about all the issues that we had. And like I said, I gave them, temporary access to our QuickBooks, and he made it seem like it was actually a lot simpler than maybe we thought. So
Good.
very
If
excited.
he wants to start tomorrow, let him.
Yeah. So
Well, they've been pretty I found them to be pretty accurate on their estimates. They generally have a pretty good idea of
Yeah.
what,
Good.
if once they look at it, they're like, I think this is how long it's gonna take.
That is.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a big surprise bill later, so.
And if it takes double that, we'd still be way under budget,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
very nice. So yeah, I mean, dealing with that, we got the audit scheduled for March. Big part of this month was posting that CTAP, the conservation technician position. So we're excited that is posted. We're getting applications in. Tim, so we're setting up first round interviews. Those first round interviews, we're kind of weeding out the initial candidates. And sitting on that committee is going to be myself, Jack, Morgan, who we thought would be really great with her, experience with MDARD grants, and then Becky. And then since you're kind of the second part of that human resources committee, if you would like, I would love to have you sit on the second round interviews. So and we can,
Trying to do that.
yeah,
Second round would be the final round.
yeah. So I mean, ideally, if we
Get down to a
interview
couple, 2, 3 candidates.
yeah, we interview 4 or 5 people, cut it down to maybe the top 2, and then
Yep.
sit down with them. I'd love to have them sit on the other side of an actual farmer in Ottawa County and kind of get that vibe check of,
Okay.
so.
Now with that, we disbanded all of our committees.
Yeah.
So as far as hanging this on Tim and Becky and all, what is the preference of the board to follow through with said new idea of a non-committee?
Yeah.
Is that, do we want to hold this?
So,
How does this, what,
and I have a question about that too. You know, going forward, I know we decided to not hold those committee meetings. And maybe I'll have to look back at the minutes. Did we actually vote to dissolve those committees? Because those committees are written into the policy handbook that they exist as committees. So we may have to look at that. And if we want to completely dissolve them, we'd have to do that through a
I
separate.
don't know as though if we dissolved them, I would have to go back and check the minutes.
Yeah.
But I think we.
talked about putting everything back.
Yeah, I know we
agreed
said
to
we're no longer
do
gonna have
everything
those.
here.
We decided the full board, but as
Yeah.
far as the committees, I know Becky wanted to keep the committee,
Keep
but
them
they
as-
weren't meeting.
I don't care what Becky wanted,
I know,
because
but
it's
I
a
mean-
board decision.
Right,
So I'm
right.
sorry if that sounds a little
No.
snarky, but that is the reason.
Yeah.
We said we're gonna try it differently for a while.
Well, we're not meeting, and I don't have
Well-
an issue with them two meeting unless somebody else wants to meet with them.
At that committee, or at that meeting rather, I don't think we had a vote expressly because I shared a concern that we needed to check our policy guide about if we needed an official vote and
Okay.
what process and procedure needed to happen to do that, because I wasn't sure that, I don't
Right.
think that had been on the agenda as a specific like call to action ahead of time to do
Sure.
the research to be like, what does it actually say about these committees?
Well, and,
So that's my memory, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
right,
So as
no,
of now, like the committees technically still exist, is
yeah,
my understanding.
correct, but we were going to not use them.
Yeah.
Again,
As like a separate sort of decision-making entity
Correct.
that, yeah,
so, again, with that, yes, I believe we did discuss that night, and that's why we didn't per se dissolve them. But we just thought we'd go with another idea for a while.
So why don't we just let Becky do the first thing and then let's do the second round as a board?
I mean,
Was that
I
too
just
intimidating?
wanted,
Board's gonna get the final, so,
Is it
I mean,
Is that
Becky's
too
gonna-
intimidating to a candidate?
kind of?
Becky's
I
gonna
only
get
had one board
input
member on my
on
final interview.
who's gonna be the final, and you guys are all gonna talk together, so I don't have a problem. with it.
How many candidates are we like looking at? Like, do
I
you think
would-
we're gonna have substantive second interviews? Or are we gonna be after the
I
first
think,
round, like-
I'm targeting 4 to 5 first round interviews. And I would say out of the candidates that we have now, and to be fair, the position is open until Friday.
Mhm.
The applications coming in have actually obviously like dramatically slowed down. But I would say right now, out of who we have, I could see probably at least 2 or 3 of those like being
solid.
pretty good picks, and I could see getting it down to 2 people.
So why don't you guys just have one?
Like one interview, or
You think you need to interview the?
I
person?
think it all depends on, I mean, if
I mean,
there's a
it's up to you
clear.
guys.
Yeah,
You
I-
guys are the one working with them.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, if we come out of that first round interview and there's a clear front runner, right, like why waste people's time and have a second
Right.
round? But if there's 2 candidates that are really
Yeah,
good, that are
okay.
really qualified, and we want to have that second look, I just want to have the option open, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So I have kind of a sticky question, and maybe we just need to talk about this separately, but, or maybe Jack knows the answer. Have you guys evaluated based on the work plan for the grant with MDARD, what the goals are, what that is gonna look like for somebody new coming in? Cause my best understanding, and I know you weren't on the meeting today, but my best understanding is that we're gonna be held to that work plan
Hmm.
come hell or high water.
I'm aware, Rivka.
From MDARD, from the grant holder.
Even with a brand new technician halfway through the fiscal year?
yeah.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I think we need to like review that work plan and have that in the back of our heads when you're reviewing these candidates.
Yeah. Who's gonna be?
Not even like who's the best fit with this or who's the best fit, but like who can check these boxes to get this grant delivered so we can bill it.
Yep.
That's just,
Yep, no, it's a good,
Right.
it's a fair point. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Megan? Where are we at right now with that grant? Are we like,
You're off to a good start.
are we?
Yeah, when Oh, my goodness.
Andrew?
Andrew was here. He was kicking butt and taking names in the
That's helpful.
first
Very
few
helpful.
weeks.
So did this grant start in October or January?
October 1.
So the quarter's done.
And Morgan can definitely be an asset
Yes.
because she has really strong farmer relationships and can make
Yeah.
introductions and stuff as needed.
Yep. And again, to echo what Jack said, like Andrew built a lot of relationships. So the tech coming in is gonna have some kind of, he's gonna
Head
have,
start.
Some ground has been laid.
When you get somebody local, be
Yeah.
plus.
Well, and I guess, yes, good. I think we need to come back and talk to the board with how, again, I mean, I don't like the way this played out. I mean, with, we said the committees were gonna resolve, that was her idea. And now, we just keep on keeping on. So I think, we either make a decision tonight, how we run this, or, cause what's the timeline as far as if the applicants are open, or if the job's open till this Friday?
Yep.
And then does this all happen in the next 30 days? I mean, it probably.
yeah.
It
So
does.
so far I'm scheduling most of the interviews for Thursday, the 19th and Friday, the 20th.
Okay.
Of this month.
So
So,
we should be able to vote on a work agreement at our March meeting.
Yep. that's the goal.
Do
Yep.
we want this person to wait that long? Or are you gonna make an offer? Just asking, that's another month. Real,
Yeah.
I mean, we could, as
I mean-
the board, authorize,
authorize.
Ben to make the decision for
I think
hiring.
so. I mean, if it falls in the guideline of the grant.
It's pretty much laid out for us. So I mean, it isn't
Yeah.
like he's making some wild decision on your own.
Right.
Other than just the person to carry the load.
And I don't know that we're gonna question that decision very
No.
heavily.
No.
Like the work agreement is the work agreement.
I mean, I'd let him hire him by himself anyway, so.
I mean, the only things that would be concerns for me would be if for some reason the candidate had to have a delayed start date. We're not gonna wanna do that anyway, and that would mean we could talk about it in March if we had to. I mean, that's really the only thing I can think of
That's a
that
big
could come up.
setback if they-
Yeah,
And it coming out of state, that would be hard.
yeah.
I don't know where they're coming from, but something to weigh in on.
But otherwise, I mean, I would.
So what is
trust
the
their
pleasure? Do
decision.
we need to vote on that to give Ben the,
Oh, I'm
So-
gonna say we have to vote on that one.
well, to
Alright,
give Ben or not to?
So in human resources, I have a line for the CTAP position. If we want to wait until that, I mean, I guess I've basically just given those updates now, but,
Oh, yeah, we're still on yours. I
Yeah.
thought we moved on.
I mean, that's basically, I mean, that, and then obviously the election. I mean, we've had some ballots rolling in, so just making sure those are prepped and mailed out. Go along with that, the planning for the annual meeting. So yeah, it's been a busy month, so.
Good. Well, let's circle back around as we go through the topics. So, cool. Partner reports. Yeah, I guess we are up to it. Jack, you want to give a report or?
Yeah, I just looked up Andrew's, goals for this year. I think they are achievable.
Good, okay.
So especially, I'd have to go back and look what he accomplished so far, but these are achievable.
Okay.
I've seen somebody go on 6 months of maternity leave and be able to achieve, goals. So,
Yeah.
I think it's doable.
Okay, good.
Boy, I was livid when you said that.
We'll talk more after.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing outside of the written report that I provided. There is with the exception of, an opportunity to build a farmer network in the county. $50,000 grants are gonna be available to, facilitate that. We would need at least 5 farmers willing to work together to demonstrate regenerative ag practices. And that's about all I know. The districts would be the fiduciary. Most of the money would go to the farmers themselves. And there'd be some there'd be a Still a pretty heavy lift, but most likely for the CTAP technician. Wouldn't cost the district any extra funds. All of the field days and that kind of stuff would come out of the grant. So there wouldn't be any additional expense to the district if you were to apply and receive it.
So we wouldn't get any administrative.
I would imagine there'd be a cut.
There's $12,500 max administrative
Mm.
at and that includes all personnel and everything.
Yeah.
So whatever,
Including
Huh.
directs.
and there's no indirect
Mm.
whatsoever.
Mm.
So it is a really tight grant from a budget standpoint. If you have an existing program, produce safety or CTAP could be a good fit, and you want to be like, we'll facilitate a farmer-led group as a way to, you know, get more farmers engaged in programs we already have, then it could be a good fit. But it's not going to be a standalone that's going to be able to fund its own staff and et cetera, because
So a
most of the money,
$50,000 grant, what are they looking to
Do. or
pay
do.
for? I mean, what would we
farmer
use the 50?
incentives, the money goes to farmers directly for
So
them
they
to
would pick
participate.
5 farmers then to spend $50,000 on? Not,
Well, minus 12,500.
So the most the farmers are gonna get 7,000-8,000.
Well, 50,000 minus 12,500, so I'm not,
40,
it's
38.
too late at night
Yeah,
to do.
35,000 divided by 5.
Well, so it's like to the farmers and then like costs for you know, stuff that they need for
Okay,
implementation.
I guess, and
but-
maybe this ain't the place to talk about, but what is that? So this 35,000 that we've got to use for incentives and this and that, then
Mostly
what does the
just goes to
county get out?
farmers.
What does the county or state get out of that? Are they gonna showcase these acts or these?
The
project where they're
goal,
going?
yeah, the goal is to build stronger farmer networks under the idea that farmers are more likely to adopt conservation programs if they have other farmers telling them, hey, I did this on my farm. This worked for me. Oh, you're stuck with that. Go check out this other program. So it's not that the 30,000 or we'll just 35, whatever, doesn't necessarily just go to those 5 farmers. It's stipends for however many people participate, but you have to have 5 farmers signed up who are saying, we will be the leaders of this group. So the farmers have to lead it, have to organize it. The conservation district is there to act as a facilitator, to say, hey, we'll keep your email list organized for you. We'll send out info about the event, whatever. But that the farmers are really intended to drive it forward.
Nice, going to all conservation districts.
Yeah, it's but all conservation districts have gotten the info, and the deadline is coming up pretty quick
Yeah,
to,
let me find out.
I wanna say it's February 27.
And it's a competitive program.
So
You better
14
sign, you
days,
better sign up
10
to it
days
right
from
now.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a
It'd
nice
be good
idea,
if you
but I
had
don't think that's gonna fly.
Farmer board members doing it because they know a little more about the conservation districts, but
yeah,
interesting.
When
It feels
you
like a-
write this grant, would you need, let's say, like letters of support from at least 5 farmers in the application, or is it more of like,
you have
you're
to
gonna
have
find?
those 5 farmers signed up, like names and signed agreements that, yes, I will lead this
you
group.
got 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Like, that's the biggest.
I think it's a
challenge
no
with
for
this
us,
grant.
Jack. I think it's a
I'm
no
sorry, I'm
for
not
us.
trying to rain on the
No,
parade.
no, you're not.
No,
But,
but we
Um,
already do a lot of that work.
right,
already, so
exactly. And it's, you know,
Trying to.
That's what I was trying to piggyback off. Resilience and all the,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to get the info on, just what exactly they wanted.
Jack, do you know if this is gonna be an annual thing?
I don't.
I think it depends on how it goes.
Yeah.
They're trying to copy Wisconsin model for farmer-led groups. The missing piece of that, though, is that Wisconsin has heavily funded conservation districts. Their conservation districts have strong operational funds from the state out of the gate. So they can have a program that has really, really limited administrative funds because they've already got funding other ways. For Michigan districts, we need ops funds out of every grant we run, or we can't function.
I'm gonna ask them.
Did this just come up? Is this just a new idea?
Well, I mean, the grant or the idea?
Both.
The idea has been banging around, I would say, for at least
There's
the
so
last
much
couple of years.
Why such a tight deadline? It's just.
We've known about the grant for a little longer than this.
Yeah, maybe a couple months.
Okay,
It has been a relatively quick turnaround from the RFP announcement. Like, we sent it out as soon as we found out about it. Amber sent it out to, but
Like we
It
applied
wasn't
for the
very
field day
big.
one,
Yeah.
that one for sure, but
Yeah.
the network one, I've been like, I'm
So you
confused about it.
passed, right?
Hmm?
You passed on this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in luck.
Anything else, Jack?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
We can tell everybody, we can tell Jack's bosses that he told us about the farm.
Good way.
Mhm.
that's the word, Jack.
I think the workers made that decision a couple months ago.
The other report is in the packet.
Yep.
Well, let's jump into human resource.
Okay, just a quick note about the interns. We now have officially 4 interns working with us right now. 3 of them, were actually at the field day last week, so they got a little bit of a taste of agriculture education type stuff. They had a great time there. But other than that, we're doing road stream crossing surveys, field work, whatnot. And then we have another intern that's working with us on Fridays that's going to be doing a lot of GIS and mapping and some data work with us. So all the data that we're collecting for this 5-year monitoring project through the county, this guy's going to start working on mapping that data, putting it in like a story map format where we might work with GVSU to design a web page so it can be kind of accessible to the public and whatnot too. So you can kind of like look at, where we collected fish data and see what fish are in this stream and whatnot. So he's going to be a great asset to the team. And then the other 3 on Thursdays are going to be great in terms of helping us collect some of that data that we just
That we don't want.
Like how many hours? How long do we have?
6 or 7 hours per week until the end of this semester, which is about the end of April, I think.
So the one on
So, yeah.
Friday, so the ones on Thursday, they're doing it for 2 credits. The guy, his name's on Jackson, he's coming on Friday. He's just doing 1 credit, so he needs like 4 hours a week.
So,
So,
and
but the 3 that you had, so it's 4 hours for each of them, 4 to 6 hours for.
though the
people?
3 on Thursday are doing like 6-ish hour days on Thursdays.
But all 3 of them are.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, they're all
that's my
coming
question.
this, yep,
Yep.
they're all
And the
coming,
fourth
and
one,
they're gonna be part of a team.
Yep.
The short one.
Cool. So I mean, yeah, you can knock
So,
out a lot of
yeah.
legwork or I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
No, that would
Filing
be helpful.
data, yeah.
And I'll, 2 weeks ago, we were out doing road stream crossings and it was like 4 degrees and we're standing in
Oh.
the actual stream in waders and Sarah and I don't particularly love doing road stream crossing data anyways, especially when it's cold. So why not get some interns to do it? It's a good experience.
We're doing it this week, but it's gonna feel like summertime.
Yep.
on
Yeah.
Thursday.
No, and honestly, I mean, it's great experience and it's,
The crossing or the 4 degrees?
Chris,
Right.
Chris country air.
But my note on that though was I mentioned last meeting that I was kind of looking into whether or not our Fisher insurance, the workers' comp and everything covers these people because they are technically unpaid, but they're getting credit for it. So I've been going back and forth with Joe Fisher about that. Originally, so in your packet at the end of the financials, there was like a quote, a couple of different options for additional coverage that he had kind of worked up for us if we wanted to buy additional coverage for these people. He did finally just earlier today, reach his people internally, go through the situation. And he did confirm that they will actually be covered under our current policy. So we don't really have to do much different. I had to get them some info on how, the kind of the mix of office versus, field work that they're doing, the number of hours that they're working and all that, just give Fisher some information on that, but they will be covered, which is good. So moving forward, if one of them gets hurt, whatever, it'll be the same process with workers' comp than it is with,
But wait a minute, why is our workers' comp paying it? Why isn't the school?
they don't have coverage. Since they're not working on campus directly with like a school facility or anything, GVSU doesn't cover them. And now if it was like an internal internship for one of their departments, then I imagine they would have coverage. I wondered the same thing, so I
get
reached
a
out
high,
to,
I get a high school kid. I've had a high school kid a couple times come on a high school program. And I gotta supply all my workman's comp and all my insurance
When
prior to that person coming out to the farm.
I walk into a big corporation, I have to go, here's my insurance policy for
Right.
letting me on.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, no, and I reached out to GVSU. I talked to their several departments there, their internship department, and then they have a liability department and everything, and nope, they don't have any coverage, so. Yeah, and and the reason I went down this rabbit hole was we've had plenty of volunteers, we've had interns in the past, and that had never really been looked into, and I just got to thinking like, oh man, if one of those people would have been injured,
We did.
Years
talk
ago.
about this not long ago.
yeah.
It's
Is this,
good that you.
Rivka, is this common? You run into this?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of riders that they have available. And the best practices is always if you have questions
But
on if
I
it's
don't-
covered or not, check.
Yeah.
Why the
And,
schools-
and ultimately, like, and you'll see the quotes, at the end of the financial packet, it was like $500 a year. And not a tremendous increase to and we would have covered that under the water monitoring anyway. So it wouldn't have been a district cost anyways, but it's, it's nice that we don't now have to purchase additional coverage. But yeah, that's my update for interns. CTAP, we basically already talked about, we're getting some pretty good applicants. Just this week, we've gotten probably 2 or 3 people that actually have a decent kind of ag, soil science, agronomy background, which is great. The question is always like, can these people, talk the talk to, and can they talk to people and go out and actually communicate to farmers? Like one guy has a master's in soil science and agronomy, really good resume, but is that going to translate to communicating with people too? So that's kind of always the question going into interviews. So, like I said, we have interviews scheduled for next Thursday and Friday. Some times blocked off. The posting closes this Friday. Applications have kind of dried up since last week, but we might get a couple more in. I think for right now, I probably know the top 4 or 5 candidates that we'll interview, but we'll see what else comes in. So, and I guess if you guys wanted to make a motion to give me decision making.
Yeah, I make a motion to authorize Ben to make a hiring decision for the CTEP person without additional board review.
Second it.
All those in favor?
I
Aye.
will
Opposed?
say the only caveat is obviously continue with your plan as far as involving us and letting
Yeah,
us
we're
know
gonna
as
have to try and
candidates.
look
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we aren't gonna be able to like
Data
vote on
where
it
you
via
want.
email, but you can at least get our input.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let us know who you decide.
Sure. Yeah. And when I nail it down to like, if we end up doing a second interview and we get, we only have a couple of resumes to review, I'd be happy to share those with you guys so you can see them. I figure you probably don't want to read through 18 resumes right now, but
Mhm.
it's,
No,
it's up to you guys.
No, I
That's
think,
why we got you.
yeah,
Yeah. There you go.
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't give that to an intern.
No, we do have some good ones though, so I'm excited. Tracy, update. So last month when we met, I basically explained that right now, Tracy's major funding source that she's been kind of operating under for the last couple of years, which was NACD, that grant ended on January 1st. So all of January, we were funding her under a variety of programs. Watershed, which was our 319 grants, water monitoring, which is the county monitoring money, groundwater, and then RCPP. So 4 sources that she's kind of splitting her hours. That she did that through January. And then I kind of basically said at the end of the month, we'll reevaluate. We're good to go February. We have plenty of money in all of those sources to keep funding her through February. So that's the current plan.
Has she been used any watershed? I feel like she's.
Not,
mostly-
not watershed. It's been monitoring RCPB and groundwater for the most part.
Sooner or later that'll run out, right?
Yeah, so right now, we could very comfortably fund her through the end of March. I mean, that's not a problem, and especially since we have the interns, so she's gonna be kind of the crew lead for these interns, which is really nice, and it's not, we're not just inventing work for her. We have the work for her to do, and it's gonna be a really helpful thing to have her out with that crew. And we have plenty of money, like I said, in those grants. Especially with me billing only half my time to the watershed grants, it just frees up a lot of money for her, which is nice. So
Well, and for RCPP, I basically handed her over the work I was doing so that I could focus more on the watershed stuff because I
Yeah.
had too much. So I just gave her whatever RCPP work I still had.
Yeah.
But what is the long-term solution?
it's gonna be grants. I mean, at the end of last year, we wrote, I think, 4 total applications that would have predominantly funded her. 3 of those have now been turned down, 2 NIPWIFs, and then that craft beer grant, we did not get that. So we are kind of, everything hinges on the next NACD grant. So that's the one that ended on January 1st. Right now, we're waiting to hear, I think it's supposed to be in March or possibly early April when we hear about that. So we're also writing new grants. So we just put in a letter of interest, or letter of intent to write a grant for GLRI. That was a $750,000 grant that would cover a big chunk of her time over the next couple of years. There's 2 other grants. One that we might write through the Great Lakes Fishery Trust to do some like riparian habitat, shoreline type habitat buffer stuff. That would include some of her hours, and then a couple other grants that we're writing pretty soon that would include it too. So we're going to be writing a lot of grants with her and Megan as a focus because our CPP is ending too. So Megan is a big focus of this too. We need to have some funding for her around middle or late of this year so that she has a job going forward. But I guess what I'm getting at is I would say this month in March, we're good to go. We'll reevaluate at the beginning of March, obviously.
Well, it's only 2 weeks.
We're good to go through March. After that, there, if we have nothing, if we have no funding, and if we don't get the next NACD grant, but we're waiting on a couple other opportunities, we may have to look at laying her off. But I'm hoping that's not the case. And we'll see where we're at with money on the watershed stuff, because we'll be getting busier too in the summer and more monitoring opportunities. So
So this is probably a hard question, but I'm gonna ask it. Are we inventing things to keep her a job?
no, right now we are not. There's plenty of work to do in RCPP, plenty of work with groundwater. So a lot of the
But
groundwater.
RCPP is coming to an end, you said.
Yep. So, and that's why I'm
So do we
saying,
have to make a choice in 2 months, 4 months, 6 months to lose one person
I
or
would
2 people or?
say in 2 months.
2 months.
I would say if.
I know it's hard, but it's
It is.
it's reality.
Yeah, it's, and we all understand it as staff too.
Okay.
And Megan understands it too. So I think RCPP ends, is it September or October? I think it's the end of the fiscal year. So it's the end of September,
Nope, September 10th.
September 10th. Okay.
I know
It's a
because
weird day.
he has it written down.
Yeah.
He's counted it.
Well, and all of you have put in an effort. I
Yeah.
mean, we
Yeah,
have,
bro, we've tried.
yeah, I mean, this is, we
Yeah.
kept her.
I mean,
Now
ultimately
that-
for Tracy, I mean, I'll just add, and for Tracy and Megan, I mean, the goal is always to get more resources to the people, then obviously that would help fund jobs. So, with Tracy, we've been really trying to get funding or find funding to have her be more of a native plant technical assistance person. That one's been difficult because a lot of those grants for that type of work focuses on the work and not necessarily paying the person to do it. So
Yeah.
it's been difficult trying to get that overhead because a lot of grants for that type of world wants to pay for the actual project, but not necessarily.
The
So
administration.
yeah, so it's been a little bit of a struggle finding kind of those resources and funding sources that would help pay for the person
So
itself.
refresh my memory. How did she come here? What did she come into the organization for?
Through NACD,
Got
which
it.
was
Never
technical
do it.
assistance for NRCS
Got it.
type
Mhm.
contracts.
And that's what the next
And-
NRC grant would still do.
And the chances are we will get this next grant. I would say the chances are very, very high that we're going to get the NACD. It's one of those programs. It's not a gimme. It used to be a gimme a couple of years ago. It's not anymore. It is competitive, but typically when you have a district that has staff that has been there for years, they've
Track record.
successfully, they get the grant, right? And so I would not expect us not to get that grant.
Okay.
But there's always a chance.
Yeah, and
We'll some.
fair.
Thank you.
Need any help with letters of support, or you need any thoughts about who to get letters of support from? Because those LOSs can make a big difference right now.
Yes, absolutely. If we get invited back to write a full GLRI proposal through this, what is it, the Great Lakes Community Grant Foundation?
Something like the Great Lakes Estuary, it's like a newer
Yeah.
grant
Yeah.
offering.
But yes, I will, if we get the invite back for a full proposal, I'll be reaching out for sure.
Policy updates.
Yeah, so you guys asked last meeting for a copy of the employee policy and the policy and procedures handbook. I did email those to you, a week ago or something. I don't know if you had a chance to review that, take a look at it. No worries. I did not have any specific policy in mind to take a look at. The one, I guess, that I've talked about a couple of times over the last couple of months is just a hiring policy. I don't see anything specific in the employee policy, the policy and procedures handbook, or even in like the position description for the ED that just clearly defines when I can just choose to hire someone versus when I have to go to the board. And I'm not asking for anything one way or the other. I just want it written down in words. So
Which
that
way it's gonna be.
Exactly. So that's, I guess, the one policy that if you can take a look at those books, figure out where that might fit into and figure out the wording. I'd be happy over the next month or the next 2 months, whatever, draft maybe a sample of what that wording might look like. And we can kind of,
Is there other kinds of, this is a question for Rick, is there other conservation districts that have some sort of policy like that we can review and maybe tweak, or
I guess I'm gonna throw this at.
is that not open to public?
I'm gonna throw this at, I guess, I would say our policy should say, and take this into note as far as your
Sure.
mock one that you're writing up, that he can hire, because whoever he hires, they gotta come back to the board to sign the work agreement. If we think Ben stepped over, we still have a safety catch, I guess, if that's, I think that's the wrong word for it, but I mean, I guess if we feel strongly against this job position, which then we probably got bigger problems with our ED than just the fire process. Would
Yeah,
that cover
I
it?
mean, I think the devil's in the details, it's all about the exact language
Yeah.
you can really easily trip yourself up by saying something that can be misinterpreted
Yeah.
in a legal context or another context.
That's above my
Especially
pay grade.
if you make if you make an offer of employment and somebody starts making
Yeah.
decisions
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
basis of that, they sell their
Right,
house or
right.
whatever, now
His
that could be a
decisions, yeah.
liability
Not the board
issue.
come back and say-
So I think there is probably a way to thread that needle, but the devil's in the details, definitely.
Well, and I think it could be fairly simple in terms of the wording, like if it's an existing position.
Yeah.
Let's say Annalise decides, hey, I don't want to come back from maternity leave. We'll need a new bookkeeper. That's an existing position, right?
That's not happening, don't worry.
No, it's not. It's not.
Everybody's going
Yeah.
That would be really, really
That was a
bad.
bad example.
Yeah.
Rephrase.
Sierra, you want to?
fixing the books.
Yeah.
No, in that case, it would be nice to know, all right, that's an existing position. It's already written into the appropriations budget. Nothing, the budget's not gonna have to be amended to allow for that position. Can I just get going? Can I put the posting up and go after it?
Then we hit this roadblock, cross this bridge when with Andrew's position, can we post it?
Mhm.
And that was why, there was no clear, same thing, we knew what we had a parameter there, it was a whole outline of what we needed, but just couldn't pull the trigger to do it, so.
Whereas if it's a brand new position,
You
a
probably
new
will step-
grant
That
or
would be-
whatever, yeah, we'd have to.
I'll add, it sounds like we might need to discuss, like, if there's no HR committee, like, what is the board's, who should be involved, or like, do we want to ask, like, as far as like interviews, like,
Can I ask a
Which
question?
ones?
Yeah.
So I think as long as it's a rehire, but if it's a new position, I think you should ask the board.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But as far as the rehire, I think it could be up to the ED, but do you internally have a group you talk to, right? It ain't just, I mean, like you and Sarah talk. Is
Yeah,
there more
yeah.
than just you guys?
We-
I mean,
we
if you're gonna
kinda-
hire somebody for a new position.
Yep.
How many people are you gonna show this to?
Right. Yeah,
I'm just
it's,
asking for one guy, you're
we
the
sort
guy
of
in
have like
charge, but
internal,
like
kind of
your internal group.
informal, you know, committees
Yeah,
for that.
I'm
But
gonna
like,
say-
as we talk about the CTAP position, you know, I'm sitting down with all of the ag adjacent people at the district. I might not sit down and review resumes with Muriel because she does, you know, SISMA stuff and
Mhm.
invasive species stuff,
Right.
but I'll sit down with Morgan and Sarah and
Get their
and
vibes.
Megan, and yeah, like,
Yeah,
hey, you know, this is
So
what
it's
they,
just,
depends on the
it's a
position. and-
decision.
It's a team
that
approach,
you're-
but of one final say.
Yeah,
You get what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
on that one?
yeah, yeah,
I could-
I'm not
I mean, the
making
ED is in
unilateral.
charge, but you guys do things together as a group.
Well, and I
Write
think
a
that,
policy and let's pick it apart.
yeah,
I think we're all going around the barn here. I mean,
Right.
write a policy, we'll pick it apart and.
Yep.
We can get it on
I
the first try.
Yeah,
But I mean,
for sure.
we're working on it.
I think our policy.
Jack,
should be
Jack,
written
like in
around
your
you guys.
experience working with other districts, how do they do it? Is it as simple as like, hey, if it's a new position, ask the board. If it's an existing position,
It varies,
Yeah.
actually. Most districts, the ones that are high functioning like you guys, empower their executive director to make those decisions. The board gets the final say.
Yeah.
But the heavy lifting is done by the executive director. The districts that don't function at the same level as you guys, we see everything from soup to nuts.
so I know like our board in the past, you know, if it's a new position, what'll happen is the board at a meeting will basically authorize that position to exist. And then from there, the ED might kind of take over and
Yeah.
do the actual,
Yeah,
like, yeah,
that's just what I meant.
cool. Yeah, we can draft something and come back to that.
But like I say, me and Ben have talked for the last couple weeks, months on, you know. I know, our former ED went to the DNR.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie had a couple that, that she got hung up on, so.
Yeah.
Like I say, if you see something, we're gonna kind of keep it on the agenda as kind of just a working.
So,
You know,
so with,
live
while
working
we're on
file.
this topic though, with, just because I don't want to overstep, right? And in the future, when it comes time to create, interview committees, like I did with the CTAP. The reason I asked Becky was because when we had an HR committee, it was her and Tim. They've done interviews over the last, year or so, and I just kind of figured, you know what? Let's invite her to take a look at some of these resumes. In the future, how do we want to navigate that? Do I invite everybody from the board and see who has the time? Do I just kind of gauge like, hey, who is interested in being on this committee? Like, how do we want to navigate that?
Put it in the draft policy.
Yeah, I get
Whatever you do, what?
in the draft policy.
Well, I mean, as far as interviewing specifically, it might be relevant to the position.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I think having, either Tim or Matt on an interview for CTAP makes a whole lot of sense
Mhm.
because they're the ones, you guys are farmers that they're interacting with. What your impression of them is and how well they're going to communicate with the farming community is really relevant to the hiring decision. If you're hiring somebody for marketing, probably Doug or I are the better person to be able to assess the skill level of that individual and whether it's on par with what's necessary for the job.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the values of having a diverse board that has a variety of skill sets.
The way I envisioned it was basically the ED and the chairman. Ben tells me what he wants, me being the chairman at the time, and then we have a discussion of like exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think we need a farmer, I think we need a marketer, I think we need a tech, that type of thing, and then I think it's probably in the proper form of board duties is the chairman asked, said person, if they'll come in and sit in on it.
Sure.
I think would be
That's a good idea.
probably the proper way of,
Right.
of going about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Financials. No, you can bring me back to.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No, all good. That's all I need to know and,
I just.
oh, yeah.
Do, I would say that we need a motion to pay the bills. And of course, we're gonna go into discussion on said motion, so I would
I
entertain
make
a
a
motion to,
motion to pay the bills.
is there support?
I'll support.
Any questions?
Let me
Any
just
discussion?
write that down so Sarah can, yeah. Rivka made the motion.
Tim,
One
second.
second.
That's right.
I'll have it when she gets back, so. Did anybody have any questions on any of the financials this month?
You're gonna talk, Ben, or you want me to talk?
Yeah, go ahead, start us off and then
Well-
I'll fill in whatever details.
So, seeing we don't have a committee, really hard to talk on the finance department, and I called Ben today. And we talked for like 5-10 minutes. The NACD still hasn't paid us. I don't remember how much that
About
was.
27,000.
Yeah, they still owe us. That's out of our pocket.
How long is that out?
Let's say, is that behind extraordinary or just?
October then, right?
Do you
Still
need me to
uncome.
get involved on that?
I don't think, it's not up to NACD. They're still
Yeah,
waiting
said
to get money from
Yes,
NRCF.
USDA.
that's what he explained to me.
Yeah,
Who
But
are
you
you,
wanna
who's
get
your
involved?
contact?
Push it up
Yes.
the ladder, see where it
Yeah.
falls.
Mhm.
Use the
yeah,
leverage.
why not?
More people
Use the
clamoring about it,
leverage.
it gets it.
So my understanding is that for the entirety of last year,
Mhm.
in which that position was funded, we have been paid an advance and then a partial payment for like the first half of the year's reports that we've turned in. So I think the grant total was 53,000, something like that.
Mhm.
They owe us half of that still.
So are they pinging back questions to you guys about things that are unclear to them, or is it just a matter of they haven't processed it yet?
I think from the last correspondence we had, when we got a partial payment, was that they're still waiting on the full payment from NRCS. So my understanding at least is that NACD has not been given the full allotment. And so they therefore cannot then reimburse all of the various.
Well, I mean, I know Lapeer was having a similar kind of issue, and I, poked my nose into it, and magically, like a couple
Hey.
weeks later, they got a
Poke your
payment.
nose in.
So-
Poke your nose.
Just saying.
Yes, please.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get 'em to pay.
Sometimes squeaky wheel.
And
That's
Pull
what I'm
pull
saying.
the right string underneath the
Push
table.
it up the ladder.
Right.
Yeah, they ain't gonna
You
hurt.
wanna just shoot an email and CC me, or like say, hey, Chester Rivka has questions about this?
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
We will do that.
Sure.
Cool.
Rivka made a motion to pay the bills. Tim
Gotcha.
seconded
Okay, thank you.
it. And now,
Sorry, my computer was dying. Okay, so this is first our discussion. Gotcha. Rivka motion.
any other questions on the balance, on paying the bills?
Tim supported, right? You said.
Did you cover what you and Ben needed to cover? I guess if there's.
That was,
I mean, we just started.
yeah.
They had huge money come in for cover crops.
Yep.
Looks
Just
like
like a check for 202,000 or just
Perfect.
transferred money.
Is this cover crops or no? It is cover crops.
All sorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly cover
That
crops,
was-
couple of
That was the
subjects.
bills,
Yeah.
yeah, that was all the bills, it was a
Yeah.
lot more. And we still got 100 grand in the bank. So still
Well, did our
living
savings-
there.
So
A rainy day
after
that was
all of the money goes out to pay all these checks, we will have approximately 100 in savings one, another 100 or so in savings two, and then like 7 grand in checkings. So
Well,
Which we still need, I will continue beating this horse. We still need to be earning interest on those funds. Yeah.
we don't. make any-
Okay,
So-
we have
so
two
all in
savings
all-
account.
yeah, so all in all, So savings two is primarily for the water monitoring, plus also we had some savings set aside and a couple things there, but. Yeah, so in savings one, we'll have about 100 grand, which covers,
That's the rainy day fund savings?
No,
Yeah,
that's the what, that's the water,
It's mostly the water quality monitoring initiative savings.
savings two is.
Correct.
But
Yeah,
how much,
okay, wait a minute, savings two is the water quality. So savings one, we're gonna say is ours.
savings one is ours that,
it's district money.
yeah,
This,
yeah.
and that's 100 or 120.
It'll be about 100 after we transfer everything out to pay the debt.
Payroll's 30 cents.
Okay.
But I don't, this is one thing I was gonna ask Ben when Annalise gets back, because it'd be too hard now. Maybe Sarah can get into it too.
Mhm.
Is the water monitoring money that's in savings too.
Yep.
You guys are using money, I'm gonna say out of our general fund.
Yeah.
And then we would take a chunk out of savings too
Yep.
and put it into one.
Yep.
I don't know how that's getting
So
track of.
yeah, Annalise and I would say every 2 or 3 months, we'd do it at least quarterly, would kind of reconcile all that. We would figure out based on every single transaction down to wages and mileage and everything, what has come in from water monitoring versus what's gone out, and we would reconcile that and make sure that we had enough in savings to the dollar, what should be there. We were going to do that the week before she left on maternity leave. So we're a couple months behind. It's not way off because you know, it's mostly like payroll and we have some checks coming out to pay for like the analysis and things. So it's not way off, but we could use a reconciliation on that. And Annalise will be back in what?
So does Sarah do the water monitoring now? Keep track of it all?
I do.
You do.
Yep, I do. And I, at some point, again, it's not way off. It can wait another month for sure.
Well, I just wanna let you know what I recall in my head.
Yeah.
So savings two. We first put $2,000 in there.
Yeah.
Now we put $25,000 in it. There is 12,000 some odd dollars that we bought that vehicle out there with that was supposed to get transferred
From savings
savings
to back into
back into savings one.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact amount. Rust is what about.
Yeah. So when Annalise gets back, her and I could try to do it with Sierra. I think it would,
I mean, that'd be too hard.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
Yep.
when you guys get back in your rhythm again, I just wanna let you know that case out there.
yep, it's definitely on the calendar for us to get together and figure out exactly to the dollar what should be water monitoring versus those other pots
Mhm.
in savings too.
Yeah.
So it's definitely on our calendar to do that.
Okay, so at one point in time, we were gonna talk about putting a rainy day fund away,
We did.
but now you use savings one and savings two. Savings two is water monitoring, and you're doing so, and savings one is kind of sounds like general funds. Every time you need
Yeah.
money in the checkbook, you pull out of there.
Yep.
So where is our
We put,
savings account that we're gonna watch grow, that we theoretically
opened up-
don't use?
we opened up savings two. Originally to put the $2,000 in there.
I
It was
understand that.
supposed to be more than that, but that's how much we put in. And then they got the water monitoring money. We didn't want that mixed up in our general funds,
Correct.
so we put it in savings two.
So should we not have a savings three for this? This is our,
Whole soup day?
this is our draw the line, we ain't never gonna use
Well,
that type of
If
fund,
they were,
like we always talked about having.
like, I can't see their QuickBooks where they're watching what's going back and forth.
Yeah.
That's what Ben's talking
Yeah.
about, fixing.
So
We
savings
know
two
our
is,
exact dollar amount.
Up.
That is our savings.
savings
That's
two
in-
is that rainy day fund. It just also has the water monitoring money in it.
Yeah.
We have been monitoring how much of savings two is water monitoring. We
Is
just
there-
haven't done that in a couple months.
Is there any other board members who want this, I'm gonna call it a savings three, because we were gonna keep this out and watch it, and that was the no, by any means, no touch money. Would there be a problem to have said third account?
I think when Annalise gets back, we should just look at a new bank. Frankly, like something that
There's
accrues in.
$27,000. It's our.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a rainy day fund.
Yep.
And I'm
That's-
okay, with
I mean,
that.
that's
I'm
the
okay
big-
with
Yep.
it on the same account, but can we see that monthly on a report somewhere?
Well, that would be a line item, like,
The amount of balances that we carry, there's no reason that we couldn't be earning $2,000 to $4,000 a year just on interest.
Yeah.
Like, we could fund a
We
rainy
get,
day
like,
fund just with
$3
interest if we were
we
just
pay
got
all
that
these
taken
things.
care of.
Tim, that'll be in in your financial packet, this summary. So there's savings 1, savings 2, and a checking.
Or is that?
Those don't usually go to the full board.
You say, no, I don't think they do.
You know, these-
Oh, the last couple months they've been printed out
Yeah,
with
they
everything.
did, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need your savings too for this. I didn't get it. Oh, I got checking.
That is possible. I'll give you my copies.
I guess
No, wait a minute. I got
The-
savings here.
Oh, yeah, because it's.
the
all-
hill that I'm standing on, like I say, I don't wanna make no more work or no more, cost. to
Yeah, I get
anybody.
you. Separate.
But I
Yeah.
mean, but I would just like to see that so
Yeah.
that we are all here accountable to each other.
Mhm.
Saying this spit and pinky swear that we're never gonna touch this account. And again, I know we've had trouble trying to get a charge card and,
Yeah.
and trying to get a bank account opened up and this and that, but.
And I think that's why when Annalise gets back, to your point,
Yep.
why not have a third account? I think when she gets back, we seriously look at just a new bank
all for
entirely,
I'm all for it.
separate accounts for everything. Something that friggin' accrues interest.
Yep.
So that's,
I got a question for Jack. We can't invest that money, right?
You can with limits.
Yes.
I was told we couldn't in the past.
Well, you can't play the market. There are funds.
You buy government bonds or something like that?
Yeah.
Becky.
There's an outfit called My Class,
Yeah.
which serves as an investment outfit for units of government, counties, municipalities, conservation districts. And they're paying right now about 4.5.
Hmm.
And that money is liquid. You ask for some money out of your account today, it's in your bank tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think we can do CDs too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, cause even like a 30-day CD is around 3.5 to 4.5%.
and what are we getting right now? Like less
Nothing,
than a percent,
Yeah,
right? It's like,
it's-
yeah,
Zip,
We get like,
like pennies.
literally like 1/4% or something, isn't it, or
oh
Yeah.
no, well, we get like,
$6 a month
yeah.
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
200
on 200, and that's what I mean. Yeah, we're carrying month to month in the 3 separate accounts, 200 something thousand.
And then they
Yeah.
charge for checks
Yeah.
if they go too many. in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. We can
We
do,
don't make any money.
we can do.
Yep.
All right.
If we could make enough money to like buy a little car, I mean, that's 7-8 grand a year in interest. That'd be a big difference maker.
Mhm.
I think that's something that can get looked into after the election is
Yeah.
change.
Mhm.
Anything else on the bills?
No, I mean, they've been doing pretty good. Like Ben
Right.
mentioned to me, it's been a long time, this time of year we had money in the bank.
Doug, how do you vote? To pay the bills?
Yes.
Oh,
Tim?
we voted on this.
We were.
No, we didn't. We're in discussion yet.
Okay, yeah.
Tim? Rivka?
Yes.
I vote yes.
All right, paying bills.
Alrighty, are we to audit and CPA or have we already
Any-
do cash flow?
I mean, yeah, any additional questions on the cash flow forecast is just the same sheet
I
that
think we're
we
good.
put together every month and
Let's talk about this audit.
audit. I mean, I kind of already covered that.
Yep.
Audit scheduled for March 3rd. So that's coming up in a couple weeks. So over the next couple weeks, it'll be a lot of prep for that. I'm going to be going through all our files, making sure everything's there. Yeah, bouncing some emails back and forth with the company to make sure that we have what they're looking for. And so that'll be a fun process. And then obviously I mentioned the quote that we got from ZZZ. Excited to get that process started. And yeah, basically for that, I'm going to wait for Annalise to get back because she has a much better handle on QuickBooks than I do. I'm learning, But she'll know the ins and outs of what really needs to be done and cleaned up, more than myself.
How
So
many hours supposed to go?
like 5 to 15, yeah.
So you guys are gonna decide, you and Annalise, when they're gonna bring them in?
When does Annalise come back?
It'll
We're hinging
be,
a lot of things on Annalise. When
yeah,
can we
yeah.
expect?
It'll be the end of March.
So we have another 6 weeks before we see her.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, what the motion made a couple months ago was that, you know, what I'll have the authority to, you know, as long as it sticks within that $20,000 that we allotted, you know, hire a company and go for it. So obviously I'll ask for input, and if there's any other, you know, recommendations. I've reached out to quite a few companies. Really, no one's gotten back to me. I don't know if they just don't want the job or what, but it's looking pretty good with these guys. So
Great.
Good.
Well, we covered a couple, but yeah, vehicle maintenance.
only thing for vehicles was, you know, I mentioned that the truck got into a fender bender. That's fixed, that's done, paid for and everything. We did have one vehicle, the RAV, when we originally bought it last year, it was registered as a commercial vehicle. I went and fixed that last week or 2 weeks ago, got it re-registered as a municipal vehicle using one of the municipal plates that we already had, so we're all good there. Nothing else really with vehicles there.
Tree and plant.
What's a projected date, year that we have to update a truck? Are we good for 2, 3, 5, 6?
Only you would ask.
Yeah.
Tim.
I don't know. I don't know. They're all still pretty low mileage. And I know we've mentioned they all need oil
When
changes.
when does the payment end? Is that
It's
2 years?
it was 5 years.
Yeah, so that'll be, is it next
Year and
year?
a half, anyway.
Yeah, I think,
I gotta say about a year and a half.
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay,
yeah,
so
but we're getting there.
we're looking good for the future when the payment stops. We're still gonna have some life.
When the payment stops, we'll have a fleet of still relatively low mileage trucks.
Thank you. That's all I needed.
Are the trucks needed? I mean, do
Yeah.
we need 3 trucks?
I think, yeah, especially in the summer, we don't have enough vehicles in the summer.
With the invasive species crews, they need to have the tanks and everything in the back, and they're typically using all 3 trucks during the field season.
I see it doesn't say Ottawa County Conservation District, it's West Michigan something.
They had some requirements as far as using with pesticides and stuff. They had specific requirements as to like what label had to be on the vehicle for like the pesticides they use. I think it still says Ottawa, but it's like a smaller
Yeah.
icon on it.
Well, it's better if they're doing something they shouldn't be and it
Yeah.
doesn't have our.
We make that happen.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, wait, 1-800. No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how's
yeah.
my drive?
Mhm.
Tree and plant.
Orders are coming in for both those sales. Sarah, I don't know if you have any updates on that other than.
I mean, they're coming in. I can't say, I don't know, we've got a decent amount of orders already, more tree orders than.
April.
Yeah,
Open.
it's open for a
Yeah,
while,
the pre-orders are open till the end of March, and then we probably will keep the tree sale one open for another week or two, because that one, you can be more flexible on it, but yeah, I mean, so far so good. We made some updates on prices and things like that this year, and it seems like it's going over well so far. We've got a few new trees on. We just reached out to a couple of, bigger companies, because we've had a few companies who've ordered from us in the past to like get trees and give them away to their staff for Earth Day. So trying to expand that. So if anyone knows of any
Great.
larger corporations that might be interested in purchasing trees for their staff for Earth Day, send them our way.
So
But
how
yeah.
much money are you looking for out of these
The sale.
What did we make?
for
Like,
the company?
I mean, just an example, one of the companies last year who usually does like our biggest order was like a few $1,000s was like their order, but it could be anywhere between.
some companies will buy 500 trees, one for each of their employees, whatever.
Our like large order
I don't have
is,
employees.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
exactly.
but you could do something less than that too.
And
We'll
I
buy
know
a
we
5
don't have a
tree.
marketing crew with that, but what would happen if we got like who's doing business in Ottawa County, take, your top, say, hey, any company that's got over 200 or 500 employees, and send them something.
Yeah.
They're, just to say, hey, other companies are doing this,
Mhm.
support your local, I mean.
Yeah, that's
would
kind of
that be viable? I mean, I don't know. trying to get my head wrapped around
Right.
how much time would that take a staff person to do that?
Ask
You
that
know,
question again. I think I misunderstood it.
Reaching out to the biggest.
They
Oh,
say
okay.
take every company, anybody doing business, anybody who's got a company in Ottawa County,
Uh-huh.
that say 500 or plus employees. Draw a line, 100 plus, 500 plus, whatever, and say, send them a nice letter saying, hey, we're accepting.
Yep.
It would be
Here we are.
Yes.
here we are. One, it would let them know that we're here to take their donations
Mhm.
for, a
Stuff.
lot of companies have a fund for
Mhm.
that. And hey, here's an idea, you can,
Yeah. It might take a lot of time to try to figure out all the companies in Alva County that have that. We
There's
are,
gotta be a list
yeah,
somewhere.
let's say we are slightly doing that, at least reaching out to companies that we know would be larger or whatever, so. But
Crack
yeah,
a form email and let's do it.
Give
yeah,
your-
because we do a whole bunch of
leftover.
marketing already that we do for it, so.
And they might,
Yeah.
oh, we're giving us these, might give them some money.
Mhm.
but yeah.
Yeah, we
yeah,
can look
I like
into figuring that out somehow.
Survey, draft survey.
Yeah, so like we mentioned earlier, this is something we gotta do every 5 years. I think it's at the very, very end of your pack. It's in the operations.
This is a MDR requirement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And best practice.
yes,
Anyways.
but yeah, it's good practice for sure.
I think it's where,
Under operations,
got it.
so these surveys, we try to keep them relatively short, relatively simple. I think most districts, they do 10, 12, 15 questions, couple of pages, keep it simple. The main goal of this is just to get some basic demographics, some basic, how do your residents use or enjoy the natural resources? What do they see as issues? What do they know about conservation districts? All those types of basic questions. It helps guide us in terms of, what programs we can offer, how to reach out to people, how to connect better with the residents of Ottawa County, and so on and so forth. So this is our draft right here of the 2026 CNA. Remind me of the timeline of when we're.
I mean, the timeline seems to be pretty loose. We went to that, there was a CNA lunch and learn, and I think it just needs to be done sometime within the 5th year, that every 5 years. And so I think our goal, we were looking back at how we did it in, was it 2020 or 2021 or something like that? And I think maybe the survey was open for like 6 months maybe,
Yeah.
and then we took the results from that and made the report. So the goal was we wanted to have this prepared in time for our annual meeting so that we could like kind of launch it then
Mhm.
and then have it open for, whatever, 6 months and then make sure the report's done by the end of the year. And then the questions themselves are pretty heavily based on what we did the last time, but we did kind of change things up a bit and maybe like just try to make the questions to be more useful to what would be useful for us to know for future programs or like how to reach people or, just things like that. So trying to make it a little bit more useful for what information would be best for
How
us.
do you get this out? Do you mail us or email us?
It's up to whoever. That was a big thing on the lunch and learn was that it's kind of up to whoever. You could email it out. You could do mailers if you wanted. You could do social media, word of mouth. I mean, we have a lot of ways we can reach people. So there are districts who have a budget to do it, and there's some districts who don't have any budget for it. So, I mean, I don't think we would necessarily need to have a budget for it at all, honestly. I think with our networks, the way we promote things, we would pretty much be able to get a pretty good.
And if you mail, if
Group.
you got 100 out, how many you get back? Do you know?
It really depends. I mean, I think we got somewhere in like 200 something back for the 2021 survey, somewhere in the 200 range. I forget exactly.
200-300 is pretty typical, right, for districts,
Yeah,
these
maybe.
surveys? Or does it depend?
I
If
think we
it's
would
not
get-
typical, that's good.
Yeah.
I
was thinking-
Once again,
I was thinking we could probably get significantly more this year because I feel like our outreach that we've done in the last 5 years has gone up.
Grown.
So
Right.
I feel like we
Yeah.
probably do a pretty good job because we've got good connections with the county. They'd help us promote it, I'm sure. And, I think we'd probably we'd be able to get a pretty good response, I think. And it's all, I think, just multiple choice, honestly. So I think we have 15 questions total. So,
Okay, carry on.
but I guess our goal was if you guys had any thoughts on if there was any questions that you thought might be useful or any input or anything, otherwise.
Or avenues to get it out. to
Yeah.
people.
Our mailing list is,
I mean, we have an
Yeah.
email, our email list alone is like over 2,000 people, so,
Mhm.
so.
started after the annual meeting and see what
Mhm.
happens.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would add is like having some kind of like very simple flyer with a QR code that we can
Yes,
give
definitely.
to you know, CTAP,
Mhm.
anybody who's having interactions with people in the community, they're just taking it with them.
Yeah, and we do that a lot for all of our events. We'll have some sort of flyer and
Yeah.
QR code, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be definitely checking all the avenues to get it out.
Can I pop in?
Please.
And this just entered my head. What about a business card with the promotion on one side and the QR code on the back?
Oh, that'd be
That way
great.
you just give it to somebody rather than,
Mhm.
you know, a sheet of paper
Yeah.
or something like that.
Mhm.
Might
The
have
voices
more
in
of an
my-
expense to print those, is
Yeah,
my only
yeah.
thought, but,
Yeah,
Voices in my head just came up with that.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I like it.
but.
Election, annual meeting.
Yeah, just wanted to just really quickly recap. I know we went over this last month and really the last couple months. Do you guys have any questions right now on the ballot instructions, the election procedures that we send out? We make it really, really clear when people call in or whatever to request a ballot, we send them instructions on exactly how to reach back out to us and get us their vote and everything. So I don't know. I just want to keep you guys updated throughout the process, make sure that obviously there's a couple people on the board right now that are campaigning for it, so I want to make sure you guys know how to reach out to people to get them to vote. So
We've received 15 ballot requests so far.
other than that, I mentioned the annual meeting. We picked our caterer. Kind of going over the fine details of what exactly we want on the menu and some of the other details. I know in the past we've had Aldea Coffee. I understand you have a contact there, and I think Morgan does too. So I don't know if you wouldn't mind reaching out to them. Otherwise, I can email them too.
Yeah, I mean, Brittany usually
yeah.
kind of expects us to reach out at this
Yeah,
point in
that's-
time.
I have another sponsor too, who's now the last like 3 years she's sponsored. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
I mean, if she doesn't get back to you or something, let me know and I'll reach back out and be like, so about that coffee.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So that's been great in years past. Just having a couple of pots of coffee there.
and the lemonade, lavender lemonade is
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the only other thing is producer and partner of the year. So if you guys remember the last few years, we've done 2 awards. One for the producer of the year. Last year it was Craig Coman, who worked with NRCS on a variety of different projects, including the irrigation uniformity. The partner of the year was Joe Bush from Water Resources. Every year we have this award that we want to kind of recognize, on the producer side, one of the farmers that's working with us through, any of our programs, really, whether it's produce safety, MEAP, a combination of those, the 319s, someone that's like really gone an extra step or done something, kind of unique or has really worked their butts off on one of these programs, and is doing some cool stuff. So that's one of the awards. And then the partner of the year is more of, it can be like in Joe's case, he's with the county. He really, really helped us get that Ottawa water monitoring, the $1 million. So that's why we selected him. In the past, it's been, Amanda Boudet from GVSU was really phenomenal with some of the survey work that she's done with us. So I guess I just wanted to say, like, over the next couple weeks, really, because we want to have this decided. If you have any ideas on a partner of the year, especially, please feel free to reach out and let us know, and what your, I guess, nomination is. The producer of the year, again, if you have ideas, feel free, but I guess the text more than anything, work with those farmers person to person more frequently. So I think amongst the staff, we have lots of good ideas there. But yeah, that's always exciting, and I think we've picked some good winners the last couple of years. And then we'll do an award. And I know in the past we've gone to Awards Plus in Marne, and we've got them a nice little engraved, little award
something
thing.
nice.
Yeah,
I think we've selected who we want to have for our Employee Gold Star Award as well, so.
yeah. But this meeting is recorded, so we can't say it. Yeah,
Mhm.
because then they'll know.
I would nominate Mr. Van Dyke for his outreach program for the
So,
summer.
yeah.
So do I need an official like form or?
No, you can just
Just-
tell us.
just-
We
yeah.
take nominations, but
Alright.
it's kind of like an internal deciding of like between board and staff of who they'd like to. Yeah, so we can take
You've
that
got
into
a couple
account.
of them, haven't you?
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that reached
Yeah, we have like about 100.
farther, yeah.
75-ish.
Casted our net. A little farther.
Absolutely.
Been a couple years since that end of the county has had a auction.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that.
Jumping into grants.
Not a whole lot here, so I did mention that, the second one down, the combined programs grant, GLRI Great Lakes Restoration Community Grant Program. This is the one I mentioned that's about $750,000. It's through GLRI, through like the estuaries, Great Lakes Estuaries Foundation or something. This was kind of a three-pronged approach. So we wrote a $750,000 grant that would include mainly three things. So habitat and shoreline restoration type work. So like bioengineering along shorelines, riparian work, working with farmers to put in buffer strips, tree plantings, all that kind of stuff. Then there would also be like more, conventional agricultural BMPs. And then there would be invasive species management. So this grant that we were, well, the letter of intent would partially fund Megan, Tracy, and some of the SISMA staff. So it would partially fund the summer staff and Will's position too over 2 years. So it's 750,000 total. Of that, about 10% of the modified direct costs is indirect. So that would be about $68,000 for the district in indirects too. Over 2 years, we're waiting to hear. Do you
I
remember?
think it's like March or April.
Yeah,
is when we get
Yeah. So we
can
should
apply or not.
hear back in March on whether or not we're selected to put in a full proposal. Typically you are, as long as when you write a letter of intent, as long as you meet their general requirements for, eligibility to write that grant, they'll typically ask you to write the full proposal. So
And they'll give us feedback as to
Yep.
what would make the project better too. I think.
Yep. So that'll be an exciting one. Other than that, everything else is basically the same. In not received, are the three recent that all funded Tracy, and some other positions, the Monarch, NIFWIF, Pollinator Conservation Fund, the NIFWIF Conservation Partners Program, and the Michigan Craft Beer, Council Research Proposal. All of those, unfortunately, we did not get. So that's a grant.
Any questions on any of that?
We'll say one
Are
that
we
I-
applying for less grants or are they just harder to get?
Doug actually asked me that question earlier too. It feels like whack-a-mole, now, where some of the grants that we've been applying for and have traditionally got over the years are more competitive for sure. But there's also more grant opportunities. Some of the ones that we've applied for the last couple of years, we've never applied for. So it's just kind of one of those things where typically we'll get one grant, but then not get the other one, and then we'll get another one. SISMA's the same way, where some of their funding pools are more competitive now, but there's now like 2 or 3 more that they're going after and they'll get them. And
Mhm.
so it's all over the place.
I think the grant world's looking a little different these days too. It's just getting a little bit more competitive and some grants aren't being offered, whereas maybe there's some new ones. So it's a changing
your
landscape.
game. Yep.
Yes. I will say one
Up in your
grant
game.
one grant that never got added into here that probably should have been was that MDARD RAP Field Day grant that we got. So we did apply for a grant through MDARD. It was a $15,000 grant to help fund regenerative agriculture, like field days and things like that and education. We did get that grant and that was going to partially to fund Cultivating Resilience Winter Conference, but then also the follow-up field days that we hope to have this summer. So we've got funding. We basically got all the funding we need to help fund some field days for regenerative ag stuff. So
That's a good point. And by next month, we should actually have a contract for that. So I will make sure that goes to the executed
Yeah.
section of this. So
that's all.
Perfect.
Bring us up to our beloved 2-minute high-low for the last month. Anybody got anything cool going on?
No, I don't think I do.
tell us about your money.
Rivka.
I got a lot of money.
I see that.
Got a whole lot of money, which will be great for all of the districts, including Ogden. So,
The colleges do.
Which one is that?
Hope and Grand Valley.
So that's analysis for the
Oh.
water monitor.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say is, the budget's about to come out for conservation districts. It really does matter to legislators when directors show up from districts. As far as when they're trying to decide how much money to give us. And we've been pretty solid for the last 3 years at $40,000 a year. There's a lot of appetite to raise that, but it's gonna take some collective effort to push it over the edge. Because everybody's got their priorities and it's back to the squeaky wheel concept. If legislators think that, there's not a lot of energy behind it and they're not gonna hear any complaints about it later, they're gonna pass something else that it's gonna get them more complaints. So I know it seems like a day for, to drive to Lansing for no reason, but it really does matter. We have over 60 legislators already signed up to go to the lunch.
Yeah.
So they
When is that this
really,
year?
Hmm?
When is that this year?
March 11th. So,
Day after our our
Yes.
annual meeting.
yes, 1 month from tomorrow. So it really does matter to show up and collectively show up. And we really can't complain that much because we don't have nearly as far to drive as these UP people who are driving 6, 7, 8, 9 hours to come down. So,
Tell you what, the difference between 40 and let's say 60 or something would be.
I mean, we're shooting for 173
District,
per district.
that would be.
Like
I-
that's the
absolutely
ask,
change it.
and their Victory is behind it. He wants to get it across the finish line. He needs ammo when he's talking to his counterparts to be like, yes, let's make this happen. And showing up in force is the biggest ammo there is as far as getting legislators to do anything.
So you're saying we need to invite legislators to our annual meeting on the 10th?
Yeah, that also should happen as
Which is what
well.
we usually do, but. yeah.
Yeah, but they'll be in session, so it's
We'll
always
probably get
hit or miss
representatives
whether
or
they
something.
come. But yeah,
I'm assuming you have a list, and I always wrestled with this with Farm
Mhm.
Bureau and all the different state organizations of
Mhm.
who's on the fence or who has voted against it at some point
well, it's a little,
to
Yeah.
hang up on them. I mean, because I guess the way I look at it in Ottawa County, our 2 and 3 guys are, they're carrying the torch.
it's a
So
little
if I
harder
go
than that.
down there is no reason for me to go to Lansing and talk to Victory,
Gives him bragging rights, cause his people are there. Because it's not really like, there is no vote that's like, we're gonna vote on conservation district funding. They vote on the budget as a whole. And so the people that vote or don't vote for that budget are doing so on political reasons that have nothing to do with conservation districts, frankly. Where the
but if their
decisions,
constituent goes down there and reminds them,
where the
yes, it does.
decisions, where the decisions happen about conservation district funding is in all of the committee meetings beforehand, is in all the backdoor negotiation on both the House side and the Senate side of being like, hey, I'll do this favor for you and and let's get some conservation district funding if you do this favor for me over here. Like that's what's going on all the time. And what I hear from legislators when I'm down there is, well, that's all well and good. But what are the people really on the ground? What are the constituents saying? And so even when you've got people like Victory, Borton, Martin, Daly, Cherry, Shink, Whitwer, who are strong supporters on both sides of the aisle, they've got people saying, well, why do we prioritize this? When we've got this group over here, who we had 100 people at the Capitol, we got to give them what they want because otherwise they're going to be causing issues for us later. And that makes all the difference in those back corner negotiations. To be like, yeah, there is enough pressure behind this to make it worth your while to give me what I'm asking for.
So the more directors in mass that
Yeah.
go to this thing.
Yep, it's a better,
And I
That's-
know years prior, there was questions about staff attending that, obviously, and like, because we can't lobby as staff.
Yeah.
Right.
Staff can totally go, but they have to be paid because you can't have staff volunteer to do something that is like part of their job. That's illegal. And they can't directly lobby.
Yeah.
So they're there to educate, not advocate. You know, you know way more details about the nuances. Like the questions I get asked are often very minute. Like this one particular legislator wants to know about this one particular creek. Right, and like the exact quantity of what, I don't necessarily have all the answers to all those questions off the top of my head across the board, whereas staff probably does from every, you know, district. So it's valuable to have a staff member there if it makes sense, like it's helpful, but the directors are really honestly the primary people, because we're elected to elected. We're there also as elected officials to other elected officials, being like, hey.
So the staff has to go there on their own time. Own vehicles and everything, right? Can't be supplied by the district.
They can't lobby, period. So they can go as part of their job to provide education. But they can't lobby. So
So
it's like,
basically, we
this,
just can't ask.
right,
for
you
what
can't
want.
be like,
You're there to
hey,
answer the
give us
questions.
$13 million. Which is, you know, which is the ask for districts. It's like,
money.
you should be paying districts $13 million. Because every other state around us has figured out how to do it. If I was giving their districts 15 million, Wisconsin giving their districts 21 million, we should be able to figure it out here in Michigan.
Yeah, put it back
In
in the
the
red
folder.
folder and then.
Yeah, I got that. Put it right there.
Appreciate it.
So
Good years on that.
I will be there, but obviously, like, I'm not primarily in. I have my director hat on. So it's
Anything,
always
Doug?
great to have more people.
I'm good. Very
Tim,
certain.
anything?
Make it a district week.
Yeah.
District couple days.
It's gonna be, we're gonna have our exchange
Something that I was gonna say.
over at our house that week too.
That wasn't that
It's gonna be
important.
a crazy week.
I'll remember it.
Yeah, oh yeah, the second you leave, for sure.
Well, I guess then we can adjourn
Well,
this
that's-
meeting if there is no more business to attend to. All those in favor? Well, I guess I need a motion, sorry.
I moved to. I'm kind of stuck record, or somebody else should do that one.
Doug, you moved and Tim seconded, is that what I heard?
Sure.
I feel like I made all the other motions today, so.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Right.
Thank you for doing what you do.
We.
We are adjourned.
All right.
Still in.
Okay.
So Tim,